Hello again, everybody. Zacatech is here by Atak Sportz for this Monday, August 24th, 2015. It's been quite the week for sports, especially in the world of contact sports, specifically MMA and wrestling. Let's start with MMA first. Last night, WWE SummerSlam took place. Of course, that review is on my channel. But it also took place last night for people who didn't want to pay $9.99 for a pay-per-view or not into wrestling. There was MMA for you. There was UFC Fight Night on the Fox Sports 1. I saw it on the replay on the DVR. I was watching SummerSlam. I thought it was a okay card. There's one fight that really stood out. Main event, like the ending of SummerSlam, was kind of messed up, but not as messed up as SummerSlam. But it did end prematurely. Sad. Before we let's get down to the card and my thoughts on it. Strawweight division. By the way, it was in Saskatoon, Canada. Interesting city. Valerie Letournel taking on Marina Munoz in the strawweight division women's. It was okay. Take a shot. Every time I do UFC stuff, whether it's a review, doing my Atak Sportz, or a pop review video for UFC, always say decent action, not much excitement. And this was no exception. It was just okay action. I think Marina had a good second round. The second round was more exciting. First round was more of a takedown round. Second round was a striking round. The third round was just boring again, with the Canadian Valerie dominating despite okay showing from Marina, but Valerie got the victory. Lightweight division, you have Olivier Aubin-Mercier taking on Tony Sims. Was it me or was I watching a GSP fight? Because Olivier took down Tony Sims every chance he got. Because apparently Sims is a striker. Olivier basically won the fight by basically taking him down at the ground and pound, not letting him stand up much in the fight. Then in our next fight, also in the lightweight division, we have Francisco Tornado taking on Chad Laprise. Now, Chad looked like a faster fighter. This Francisco dude, it was a Brazilian dude, looked like. He got a big punch and got him on the ground, started ground and pound big time. With a first round knockout. TKO, that is. The only fight to go in the first round, the end of the first round, because the first two fights went all 3 rounds. Next fight, the best fight of the night, not just by me, but by UFC. In the Road division, Petra Cote against Josh Bookman. This was, like I said, the most exciting fight of the card. It was back and forth action, great striking, great submission attempts. It was just a great fight, ending with a big punch from Cote in the third round on Bookman, taking him down and getting the victory TKO. A very fun fight, best fight on the card, like I said. Our co-main, Neil Magny against Eric Silva. Now, this co-main was a decent one. It was a very interesting fight. The split decision kind of surprised everybody. I thought it would be more unanimous, but I can't believe it was split. Odd split. So there you go. Still a decent co-main with some good action for both fellas. So there you go. Main event ended kind of weird. Not as weird as Taker Lesnar last night, but still. Kind of a sad way to end UFC Fight Night. Especially since there was an injury involved. In the main event, featherweight division, Max Holloway took on Charles Oliveira. This fight was being billed as a great striking match. It ended up being a good start. Until Max Holloway took down Oliveira. And the takedown, apparently, in the midst of that, Oliveira started pointing at his arm, forcing the referee to stop the fight a minute and a half into the fight. Now, there's been various reports of the extent of the injury that Oliveira had suffered. Although Oliveira said in an interview that he suffered a neck injury during training that might have hindered himself in the fight, that there was a micro tear of his esophagus. Some very conflicting reports concerning the extent of the injury. But I think everyone's agreed on one thing. There should be a rematch. This fight never got started, ended pretty prematurely in the first minute and a half of the fight. So there'll probably be a rematch one day. Maybe not a 5-rounder, but a 3-rounder. So there you go. Wrestling-wise, hell of a weekend to be a wrestling fan. Besides SummerSlam, there was NXT Takeover Brooklyn. Now, I mentioned a bit of NXT Takeover on my SummerSlam review because I didn't see NXT Takeover live Saturday night. I had a gig, DJ gig. I did watch it yesterday, just a few hours before SummerSlam. And if anyone's seen my videos on Atak Sportz or my other NXT Takeover reviews, I've been applauding NXT a lot. This was probably the best takeover yet. I think me and a lot of others were nervous when NXT announced they were doing an arena show. The first NXT show in an arena, let alone the first takeover outside of Florida. I was nervous about how the crowd was going to be. If the crowd was going to be as responded and receptive in an arena as they are in a small theater, especially when I saw NXT in a house show in Cleveland 2 months ago. But we didn't have to have worried because the takeover show in Brooklyn was amazing. From top to bottom, it was very consistent, more consistent than SummerSlam a little bit. Although SummerSlam was fun. 2 things that made NXT better. 3 things. The match was more fast-paced. 2, the call was more consistent. And 3, the biggest thing, the main event didn't have a fucked up ending. And I think the ending was botched. I feel the ending was botched. I'll get to that when I get to my wall preview. NXT local thoughts. Jushin Thunder Liger in what appears to be a one-off took on Tyler Breeze using kind of the walkway entrance that he did at the last takeover. This time having the supermodels dress up like New York landmarks, Statue of Liberty, all that good stuff. It was a great fast-paced opener. There was a comedic spots with Liger imitating Breeze by taking a selfie stick, taking a selfie, and laying on top of the ropes like Breeze did. It was a good fast. It could have been better, but I think for what it was a fun opener. Breeze looked good. I've always been impressed with Breeze. He may have a douchebag character type, a little arrogant supermodel, but he's a great athlete in the ring. I thought he would get the win here, but Liger the one-off looked good with some big splashes, including one offside of the ring. That was cool. But for later with a big move and a 1-2-3 victory for Jushin Liger. His big move was the Liger Bomb. So you're very interested to see Liger there, let alone see him get the victory. Tag team title match was next. On the card, Lucha Dragons lost to Blake and Murphy a few months ago. And they were defending their titles against the Vaude Villains. They had a match on NXT for the titles and Alexa Bliss got involved. But since they don't believe in chivalry, they didn't want to attack Alexa Bliss. They needed a secret weapon. And they got it in the form of Blue Pants, everyone's favorite jobbing female. Because she's a fun thing. If you never watch NXT a lot, as long as I have, Blue Pants may seem new to you. Long story. She was like a jobber introduced to take on Carmella. She got more cheers than Carmella did. So this match, probably one of the best tag team matches in NXT today. I like the division, but the match has been okay. Down by botches, like the first defense between Blake and Murphy and Lucha Dragons on a takeover in February was very botch heavy. But this was a very fun tag team affair. With Vaude Villains looking good early. Career like a house of fire until Blake and Murphy got the isolation. It was a great tag team affair. It was great double teaming, great tags. And Blue Pants would become the factor. And so Alexa Bliss. As predicted, Alexa Bliss got involved, but then Blue Pants, being the secret weapon hired by the Vaude Villains, did her job, isolated Bliss long enough for the Vaude Villains to do the ruling dervish in the 1-2-3 victory. We have ourselves new tag team champions in the Vaude Villains, defeating Blake and Murphy. And with the impending Dusty Classic to end up being in the finals to take place during the next takeover, which is October 7th, back on a Wednesday, and I'm assuming back in Orlando. So we shall see how that's going to go with some new teams coming in and all that jazz. Next up, we have a debut. that we've been reading on. Uwa Nation, a.k.a. Apollo Crews, his new name, took on Ty Dillinger. For a squasher, it was a fun one. Ty Dillinger's opponent has been floundering ever since the whole Jason Jordan thing. He was now with Jack Gable, an odd couple tag team. But Ty Dillinger just got this new gimmick, the Perfect 10 gimmick. He's embracing that gimmick a lot. He even shaved his head with a fade and got 10 shaved on the back of his head. But Apollo Crews, my first time seeing him, he looked good. He's got potential. He's got great charisma. He's got great athleticism, great agility, and that flashy smile, man. That smile, it's pretty infectious. And like I said, he's got so much potential. We'll see what happens if WWE books away with NXT. But it looks like another big stall on the NXT roster with all these guys leaving to go to the main roster. And some guys getting injured right now. And the next takeover, we should expect returns from both Hideo and Sami Zayn. I think NXT's done good without him, but Apollo Crews could step up his game, and he looked pretty good in his debut against Ty Dillinger. Lots of potential. Next up, Baron Corbin against Samoa Joe, the woman clone of the NXT universe. Actually did okay in this match against Joe. A lot of people were expecting him to be a snore fast, especially since Baron Corbin's big weakness is long matches. And Joe hasn't looked good, but he's been floundering around NXT ever since a failed feud with Owens failed, dissipated. But his match was not that bad of a match. It was Joe's best match in NXT. So was it Baron Corbin's best match. And it was just a fight. A very good athletic fight. You know, these guys are heavyweights. And Joe, once again, like he did a few weeks ago at NXT, made Baron Corbin pass out to the Lakita clutch. So, there you go. Fun heavyweight match. On to our main event. I mean, the core main. Should have been the main event. The match that stole the show at NXT Takeover Brooklyn. Sasha Banks versus Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship. When I knew this match was named, and it was going to be the core main, I was like, this match is going to steal the show, and it's going to be an amazing match. We got all of that. And then some. The best women's match in WWE recent history and probably match of the year. It was just emotion after emotion. The crowd really helped sell this match as well. You know, the story of Bayley, the underdog, trying to make it to finally become the NXT champion. And like the Sami Zayn of the NXT women's division. A lovable character who keeps losing every opportunity. But when they finally get the big one, boom. This is exactly what happened. It was just back and forth action, great spots. Sasha over the referee, splash. Focusing on the injury of Bayley. But the coup de grace, starting to steal Finn Balor's finishing move for that, was Bayley nailed it upside down reverse Hurricanrana. You know she could have botched that. Not glad she didn't botch it. I was screaming, what the hell? After I saw that, I was like, holy shit. Landed the Bayley belly after that. 1, 2, 3, victory. Bayley, your new NXT Women's Champion. But if that wasn't already a tear-jerker moment, tears were more flowing when Bayley's friends Becky and Charlotte came out to hug Bayley. Then Sasha came back in, and the 4 horsewomen of NXT had their curtain call, hugging it out in the ring. And that was a moment, because these 4 women have been the building blocks for what the Divas Revolution is in NXT and on the main roster. It was just classic. Classic match and a classic moment to end it. And I felt bad for Finn and Owens, who had their ladder match. I was like, after the women's match, I was like, we have a ladder match next. This women's match was so great, but the ladder match is next. And despite going out after the women, Finn and Owens had a good ladder match. You know, as a okay spot, I think they should have had more spots. I think they should have used the table more. But there were some decent spots in this match, leading up to the coup de grace from on top of the ladder from Finn. And the ladder being used to weapon a lot in the match. And I think we all knew Owens was going to lose. And he did lose, as Balor retained the NXT Championship. That's what kind of sided, like, minus a few little points in the main event, because we all knew Finn was going to lose. not going to lose. You know, Abby Owens won last night. But it was still a fun little match, though. These were to end the pay-per-view. The event at NXT Takeover Brooklyn. Can't wait for the next one. Now, on to our preview for the Raw after SummerSlam. Should be a whole lot of interesting. Question number 4. In our top 4 questions that must be answered tonight. Will we get any matches for Night of Champions? Maybe not tonight, maybe next week. But I do expect Cena to get a rematch against Rollins. Because Cena and Rollins beat each other. Cena beat Rollins on Raw, and Rollins beat Cena last night. A beat with the help from the Daily Show's former host. So I think we'll have a match of Night of Champions. That's my prediction. So there you go. Any other matches for Night of Champions? We'll see if there's any matches at it. Question number 3. Sticking with Cena and Rollins, what's next for them? Will there be a rematch announced or not? Well, with Jon Stewart's involved, I said as my review last night that when I was watching SummerSlam, right before the Rollins Cena match, I was like, if Stewart gets involved, I'll be pissed. Especially if he tries to help Cena. Thankfully, he didn't help Cena. And yeah, Rollins wanted to give him help. But I didn't mind this help. I didn't mind it. Although I do want to see him win clean at Night of Champions. So I think the rematch will be announced. I don't think tonight will be tonight, but I think the building blocks for that will be tonight, though. Question number 2. Will Sting show up? There have been rumors about Sting appearing at SummerSlam, which didn't happen.
Wireless color.
You know, it was supposed to be involved in a match against the Wyatts and Ambrose and Roman. So, it didn't happen. So, there's rumors flying he may appear on Raw tonight to set up maybe some of the champions. Well, he was in New York for the SummerSlam panels and flew back home. But rumors are flying, he flew back to New York and will appear on Raw tonight. Now, every time there's Sting rumors, I just take it with a grain of salt. I'll believe it when I see it. If we see Sting tonight, it'll be great. But if Taker may not be in there, who knows? Which leads to question number 1. Will Taker and Lesnar appear tonight on Raw? And how they're going to explain the main event? We all know what happened during the main event. Kind of a fucked up ending. And I believe now, looking back on it, it was to set up the 3rd match. But it wasn't the way to do it. But I believe the ending was botched. Looking back on it, I think the ending was botched. I think referee and timekeeper really botched up the ending. I think they'll try to go for when Taker was in that Kimura lock and he was tapping and Lesnar's shoulder was down and Charles Robinson only counted 1. I think they were going for Lesnar getting counted down to 3 the same time Taker was tapping. And the referee didn't see Taker's arm being raised. I think that's what they were going for that weird ending. Would have Taker and Lesnar getting pinned and submitted at the same time. But it got a bit convoluted with the way the timekeeper ringing the bell and the referee, blah, 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 blah. We start the match and Taker won with Hell's Gate with that lasting image of Lesnar passing out by flipping Taker the finger. And the biggest news coming out of that match now is Taker apparently passed out after the match. There's a lot of fan shot footage of him passing out at the entranceway. And as of this time, Taker is not slated to be on Raw tonight. He flew back home to Texas. But will Lesnar show up? Probably be pissed off to hell tonight. We'll see what shall go down tonight on the Raw after SummerSlam tonight. Once again from the Barclays Center at 8/7 Central on USA Network. And that is it for my Raw preview and the Atak Sportz in general for today. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for my Raw review tonight. With that in mind, you've been attacked by the sports news from Zach. See you later. Yeah.